everyone, this is Lauren and Ron doing your Ask Rons for this week. Alright, so the first one comes from Quentin and Christina from Raleigh, North Carolina.
Hi guys, Quentin and Christina from Raleigh, okay.
And they ask, if you come across a seller who's willing to sell multiple properties, do you use separate contracts for each individual house, or can you use one contract for all?
You can do either one, guys, but you just got to make sure that a multiple house deal doesn't fall apart because one of the houses doesn't go through, for example. If you use one contract for all of them, there needs to be a value affixed to each. So in other words, let's say your total purchase price was $500,000 and one of the houses had a problem, the contract should automatically be set up so that it knows how to reduce that price if that one house falls out. And if this is seller financing, it is very critical that you make sure you get a release clause on each house, regardless of how many contracts you use. That's got to be in the back end mortgage and note that you have the attorney prepare. So when you got all these eggs in one basket, just make sure one egg don't kill the whole basket. That's the gist of it. Whether you use one contract or 10 contracts is not the point if that separation is done on the one contract. Okay?
The next one comes from Jeff Clayton.
Jeff, how are you? Where's Jeff from?
Houston, Texas.
Houston. Okay.
He has a few questions.
All right. That would be why we're having this conversation.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey Ron, on an REO offer, is the proof of funds letter, should we write it up in the contract as an all cash or fill in the financing contingency?
If you put in a financing contingency on an REO offer, it's dead. It'll never get presented by the realtor to begin with, and if it does, it's deader than a doornail. There is no contingencies on REO's offers, Jeff, period, except clear title, and it's already built into the contract. If you put any contingencies in there whatsoever, your offer has no chance of getting accepted. None, not a zippo.
Verify, yeah.
You can verify that. And proof of funds, yes, you will have to have that with every offer.
He also says, what's typically involved when the owner approves our tenant buyer on an AX deal?
Not much of anything. If you find an AX buyer and you know they can make the payments and they got enough money to satisfy you and there's nothing that scares you, in other words, if you would put them in the house using good common sense and a little bit of training, then your seller's going to approve them. Your seller, remember, doesn't start getting rent money till 30 days after you close, so obviously it's in their best interest to get somebody in that house right away. But please do not put somebody in a house that you know is going to be just a problem waiting for the seller to solve later. That's not going to fix that's not going to fix anything. That's just going to create a mess. Possibly could get you in a mess in the future. So you use your common sense. If you haven't been trained, you should get trained. Now, in my AX course, I teach people how to pre-screen these tenants. I also do it in my Quick Start Real Estate School, and I also do it in my green Pretty House cash flow system and in my red Ugly House cash flow system. So all those places. That same process is discussed, how to screen them, their income to debt ratio, and what we're looking for, and the reports we pull up. And don't bypass that process. Make sure you know who you're dealing with, but don't get crazy like banks, and just if you feel like they're going to pay, they're going to pay, but verify that. I mean, just because they say they're going to say it doesn't help. You must verify their income, at least see a paycheck stub, do something to convince yourself that what they say is real. All right?
Last question from Jeff. Hey Ron, you asked ideas for what we would like to see in the Gold Club.
Okay.
Can you do a video lesson series on negotiations or salesmanship? You're the master at it. How to close them.
Well, actually, I've been doing a lot of that built into the videos that we've been delivering lately. Some of your business management lessons will have that in it. Some of your real estate lessons have that in it. It's a possibility, Jeff. As soon as I run out of things to do, I'm going to put that right at the top of my list, Jeff. Put that at the top of my list.
Okay.
Will you, Lauren?
Yeah.
Okay, but it's not a bad idea, actually.
Okay.
I could go and implement a lot of my Ron-isms, a lot of my things that I've used over the years. And, actually, it's a pretty good idea.
Okay, thank you, Jeff.
Jeff, we'll put it right at the top of our list.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next one is from Norman DeWine.
Norman. Where's Norman from?
Norman doesn't tell us.
Norman doesn't tell us where Norman. That's a shame, Norman. We gotta know where you're from.
He asks.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry.
He wants to know what the name of the dog in Lassie is, right?
No. He said, no, I'm sorry. He's from Clarksville, Tennessee. I didn't see that.
Oh, okay.
Good
all
job.
Right,
Good job, Norman.
Forgive us, Norman. One of us can't read.
Okay. When should we use an additional insured request from when buying the house is subject to? Or should we only get our own policy when holding and selling by
let's deal with
purchase
insurance.
option?
If I buy a house with subject to, I have to get a policy on it, period. I don't even leave the seller on it. My insurance company notifies the mortgage company, they take the seller off, they put me on. No, it will not trigger the loan. No, they will not call the loan due because of it. Again, there is no additional insured there. It's me that's insured. And if that bothers you in some way, you can just leave the seller on it and add you as additional insured. It solves the same problem. But that's not the way that I do it. And remember now, guys, when we're lease optioning property from the seller, we can't insure it. It's not our house. So only the owner insures the property. So if we take title, we insure it. If we don't, we don't.
Okay.
All right?
Next one is from David Dewart. He's from Indiana.
Hey, David.
I'm wanting to wholesale REOs. Most of the realtors have told me that their bank does not want to sell to trust. Have you found it difficult to get the bank to look at the contract?
Well, if it's a big problem, just making an LLC. Go get yourself an LLC and make the offer in the LLC name. But I can tell you now that you cannot assign that contract. So if you're trying to wholesale a property that's bank owned, they're not going to let you switch names at the end. So that is going to present a problem there. I have no problem getting them accepted ABC Corp as trustee, and they take them for us. I think maybe this might be just a problem that your Indiana realtors might be bringing up. May or may not be any validity to it. I've been getting them accepted as trustee. But if not, you just got to use an LLC.
Well, I did one yesterday. I made him put it in an LLC, and they just needed the article to verify his
LLC is easy. He's worried about assigning it. In a land trust, you can have somebody else form the trust and be the beneficial interest. In an LLC, he can't. So there is no easy answer to that. You're either going to have to get them in a land trust, or you're going to have to close on them and then resell them. And you can do that with simultaneous funding, with transactional funding. But that just makes it a lot harder. Be honest with you, if you're out there making offers on bank-owned properties right now, you probably should be prepared to close on them with somebody's cash, or you shouldn't be making the offers. If you want to make offers to flip, you should be making those through FSBO all-cash offers. Then there are no rules. You can put it in any name and assign it at your free will because it's your contract, not the bank's contract. But it's tough to wholesale bank-owned properties without actually taking title for them right now. Okay?
Last one is from Chris Holloway.
Chris Holloway, okay?
And he says, we need to put our properties in a land trust.
Yes.
However, most of them are not in escrow accounts and the taxes are separate. How do you handle that when you put something in a land trust? All they would have to do is go to the tax rolls to find you.
Chris, I'm not real clear on your question, but taxes have nothing to do with you putting your property in a land trust. All that means is you take the warranty deed to trustee and fill it out and record it. Voila, your property's in a land trust. That does not change anything tax-wise. All it does is for privacy's sake, is now if they do an asset search, they find the properties in the land trust. It doesn't matter what you used to own. They're not going to do that search. They only search what you currently own. So you're getting privacy there. Don't worry about them going to the tax record and find out you used to have it. You're probably grossly overthinking it anyway, but it's not anywhere near as complicated as you're making it out to be. Once you record the deed, your property's in a land trust. And you should go home and fill out the land trust agreement. I'll tell you that. Put it in your filing cabinet. But make sure you understand why you're doing this. You don't just do it willy-nilly. And if you have a clear vision of why you're doing it and you know what you're accomplishing by doing it, then I, of course, am going to advocate that you do it. Unless you live in Pennsylvania. No on Pennsylvania. All right? That all the questions?
That's all the questions.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for this week. We'll see you next week. So we'll be looking for your Gold Club Weekly. We've got a lot of people working hard around here to make that thing as good as we can get it every single week. And you should be getting your monthly any day now. See you soon.
Bye.